everyone, and welcome to this special winter comforts episode of Apex Luxury TV. We are in the kitchen of 34 Fog Point Road in Freeport. This beautiful 5-bedroom, 4 full bathroom home is on 16 private waterfront acres, and you can rent it or any of our properties on apexluxuryrentals.com or by giving us a call.
Today we have Ashley, the beer mama, joining us. She has been with us before to teach us about different beers to drink with different seasons. And as it's winter, she has brought us some delicious winter beers.
Yeah, so I brought a nice little selection, just a really wide variety, mostly local, and then 2 really classic Belgian beers because I fully believe that winter is Belgian beer season. And we're gonna taste everything. We're gonna go from light to dark, and we're saving our sour ale for last so that it doesn't mess up our palate when we try everything else, because it'll just fry our taste bud.
I'm glad you brought that up about the lighter beers, because I think people might assume it's cold, it's dark, and then the beers need to be heavier and darker, but that seems like it's not the case.
No, it's definitely not the case, and while wintertime is definitely like stout season and dark beer season because all of those pair so beautifully with comfort foods, I think that winter is really just like more alcohol season. And I just mean like, it doesn't need to be a dark beer, but we definitely are gonna, I think all of us start to gravitate towards things that are very warming, and that tends to have higher alcohol. But you don't need to do that. I mean, rules are made to be broken, and if you want to drink a lager in February, go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
When the sun sets at 4 p.m., rules are made to be broken.
Yeah, that's
right.
All right, so let's jump in and have a little sipperoo.
Great, so we're gonna start today with Allagash Brewing's Curcuma. This is a brand new release from them. So it's a Saison with turmeric, which is really interesting. Yeah. So the turmeric is gonna lend a really lovely golden color here. And it really plays nicely with that beautiful Allagash yeast. And I know that we touched on that a little bit. They use their same house yeast for everything. So it kind of makes everything, it gives a continuity to their entire line.
So what is a food that you would put this with?
This is something, you know, honestly, I would just have this with like bread or something like that. Well, so smell it though, smell it, like a good crusty bread and some butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like this is a great, like, a small plate, snacky snack type beer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also so food friendly with
Light
other
and bright,
things
but
too.
still has a little.
It's so funny, I never started sniffing beer until I met you.
Actually, that's like, I catch myself doing it to water sometimes. Like I'll be drinking water and I'll be like,
You get that hint of the turmeric at the finish, which is lovely, and that brings in that winter comfort.
it really kind of grounds it with some earthiness, and then all of that, there's like pepper notes and grapefruit in there too. This could go really beautifully with some like whitefish.
Okay, yeah.
So I also grabbed Course Made Good from Rising Tide. This is a brand new beer from them, and I think it's actually only the 2nd double IPA they've ever made. But their styles are so well done, and I think we would be remiss to not include something hoppy, especially because like cheesy pasta season is winter time.
Oh, okay.
And there's literally not a better pairing with macaroni and cheese, like good mac and cheese, than just a hearty IPA. Especially if it's cheddar based, because sharp cheeses and IPAs go so well together. They're made for each other. Kind of like fried chicken and champagne. I'm serious. No, that's like, yes, I'm serious. Try it sometime. It is the best.
I don't have a problem with that.
They're perfect together. I know, I was gonna say, like, you'll have a problem with that. So it's really, really clean. It's nice too because they don't do super, super hazy beer, but they're still so juicy.
Yep, it smells citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
Lemony, right?
Yeah, bright. It's really bright. There's a lot of like really beautiful pineapple underneath there too.
Pineapple, yep.
Citrus peel.
Oh, that's so refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that.
This isn't low in alcohol either, but it's not boozy. I want to say it's 8% or so.
Okay.
8 or 9.
Too.
Oh, I lied, it's 7. So double IPA just means more alcohol, more hops. And that's what this is. So it's so intense and like heavy on that flavor, but light.
Yep.
So it's not gonna weigh you down while you're eating like mac and cheese, like those heavier comfort foods, but it's still gonna set off your food so beautifully.
I'm gonna take a picture of that label.
Now we're gonna move into our 2 dark beers, and we're gonna start with a stout from Kushnok Brewing. They're up in Augusta. They do really great pizza, and they have really fun beer. They have one called Gigantic Dad Pants. I literally pour that beer, put on my dad's pants.
Also winter.
Right.
But yeah, so this is called Electric Blanket, and it's an horchata milk stout. Horchata, if you're not familiar with it, is a rice milk beverage, and it's seasoned with like cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff. It's great with liquor in it, but this is a milk stout. So that means there's lactose sugar in here. You just can't eat lactose sugar, so it stays in the beer, rounds it out, and kind of gives it a little sweetness. So it just makes it a little bit more of like a fuller body experience.
She always amazes me with her knowledge. No, I listen to her talk about beer all day long.
It's a special form of nerdiness. Where alcoholism and nerdiness meet. That's where I live.
That's where I live.
But this is just such a pleasant beer, and this is definitely like great for like a dessert, a pie, cake, something like that.
So we've hit pasta, stews, cakes,
Mac and cheese.
This would be great for custards.
Yes.
I mean, you said you wanted me to talk about food pairings.
I
I'm
love
just
it.
giving you what I want.
Your my stomach growling at a moment.
But yeah, so a little sweeter. There is
Yeah.
some roastiness, but it's so delicate with
Ooh,
the nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like toasted hazelnuts at the end.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Great.
Oh yeah, that really like
Yeah.
finishes with that.
Yeah, you
Can
get like a
tell.
little bit of
Mhm.
almost like spice, but not spice.
Yeah.
You know. So for our second stout, we're going with Black is Beautiful from Flight Deck Brewing. They are on the Old Naval Base in Brunswick. February is Black History Month, and Black is Beautiful was an industry-wide initiative by the craft beer industry, and all of the proceeds goes towards social justice causes. So what happened was Weathered Souls Brewing put this out, and everyone follows the same recipe and adds their own twist, and then chooses the organization they want to donate
Oh,
to.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
it's all a line of imperial stouts, and everyone puts their own twist on it. I'm not sure who they chose to donate to Flight Deck. I don't think it says. But if you but if you do want to check out Weathered Souls, they are out of Texas, and they're the ones who kicked off this
Okay.
project.
Worthy reason to
It
go buy some beer.
spanned 50 countries and like thousands of craft breweries, which is really
Wow.
cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. It's such
Yeah.
an incredible cause. I love when people come together to support things that matter.
Yeah, and I feel like the craft beer community in the last couple of years has really stepped up with regards to things like this, which has been so nice. And you can see too, like it's like an inky black. Like,
Yeah.
so
Wow. And beautiful.
and beautiful. So this is a heavy hitter. This is like a 10% stout. Woo, this is a night ender. But just deep, dark, roasty.
Oh, yeah.
It's very roasty.
Like this is everything you think of when you think about a stout, and this is an imperial stout. Yep. So it's up at about 10% alcohol. So because we're going from that imperial stout to a sour, we're gonna want to take a little bit of water and just kind of rinse our palates out, because going from that roastiness to tart is gonna be like just a little hey, how are ya? That might not be that fun.
We go
And
from
also
electric
it's
blanket to
important
electric.
hydrate in the winter because it's so dry.
I guess that too.
Water.
Lovely.
So I grabbed another super classic Belgian beer. This is Rodenbock, and they're widely available, and I think that they're very underrated. We get so caught up, like craft beer people get so caught up in the hype of trying to find rare things that we often will forget all of the great stuff that's at our fingertips. These guys have been around since the 1800s. It's just a beautiful tart sour ale. Straightforward.
sours.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing this at the very end, because if we started tasting and started with the sour, it would kind of ruin our palate for everything else. So we saved it for the very last.
So you're saying if you're going to enjoy this at home, this would be the only thing that you would drink. You don't want to start.
It's like, so IPAs and sours, if you start with that, you're kind of locked into that style, especially IPAs. They can just be a real palate wrecker,
Yeah.
and then it'll affect how you taste everything else after. And not always in the best way. So you just, if you're gonna go through multiple beers, you just wanna, like keep that in mind.
So what food would be with this, or do you not eat with something like this?
I mean, I eat
The palate wrecker.
Yeah, the palate wrecker. Well, I'm just saying that. So I just. Actually, fun fact, beers, like darker beers, that are Belgians were for fasting.
Really?
Yeah, way back in the day. So Belgian table
You get
beer.
permission here, folks.
Yeah. Seriously. So you got your Belgian table beers, like monks historically brewed Belgians. So your table beers was what you had with meals. Your doubles, so slightly darker, they had more caloric value and a little more alcohol, so you could drink it while you were fasting. and then get drunk and talk to God.
Yeah.
And then the triples and quads were like the monks' party beers, where they would also get drunk and talk to God. So yeah.
To be a monk.
Yeah.
So so really they are kind of our fasting beers.
Ooh, you were right.
Yeah,
Good
like
old
really
zing.
zingy. There's a little bit of dark fruit, but it's not too much.
Little prune.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. Cherry?
Like, cherry. Yeah, just like light fruits, a little bit of tartness. It's just a really classic beer, and you could really pair this with pretty much whatever you want.
Oh, it's the oak
With
too,
the-
I think, right? Yeah.
With richer foods, this is great because it cuts through some of that like fat.
Okay.
Great.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Happy winter.
Yeah. If you would like to find Ashley the Beer Mama, she is on Instagram at the Beer Mama.
And if you would like to stay at 34 Fog Point Road in Freeport or any of our luxury properties, please visit us online at apexluxuryrentals.com or give us a call anytime. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.